Welcome back, YouTube. Next up in our body part series, we're going to take a look at my two favorite exercises for hamstrings. Now, I'm going to sneak in early and say, please do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm on a little bit of a roll right now with the content, and there's a good chance you'll be missing some of it if you don't have your notifications turned on. So if you've been enjoying this series so far, make sure you don't just subscribe to the channel, but you also tap the cheeky little bell icon so you get notified. Not only does it help keep you up to date, but it helps this channel grow, which means I can keep punching out content for you guys and afford gas and electricity for another day. And if this is your first time here, well, hi, how are you? I'm Eugene. I do stuff on Instagram and YouTube, and also have a pretty awesome app and website. Hope you're having a good day so far. And if not, hopefully this video is about to make it all better. And if it doesn't, then hopefully one of the other bajillion videos I have on here will help you feel better. And if even that doesn't help, then maybe you need to go look at some memes or something. I don't know. I don't really provide that kind of thing here. The best I could do is maybe pop on my Deadpool mask, but that would really limit how well I'll be able to do this video all about hamstrings. So let's just get stuck straight into that, shall we? Before I give you my two favorite exercises for hamstrings, why I like them, and some of my key tips to making sure you're getting the most out of them, I want to hear from you. What are your favorite exercises that you always make sure you do for hamstrings? Drop me a comment below to let me know. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to do that, and since I don't have my tea available, I'm just going to stare at you till that time is up. All right? Okay, so exercise number one is a seated leg curl. To be fair, any exercise where you bend the knee is going to be pretty decent for the most part, but there's a couple of reasons why I bias the seated leg curl a little bit more. First, the amount of bracing support provided by the bench is unmatched by any other exercise. You're literally locked into position with nothing to do other than put as much work as you can through your hamstrings. Even if you were to try to cheat, the stability of the machine forces you to stick with strict technique, especially when compared to other exercises like a lying leg curl, where it's extremely easy to hike up through the hips and to use a lot of momentum. While you can still do this on the seated leg curl, it's a lot harder to do so. And when you're looking at making size gains, the more you can direct as much effort as possible to the target muscle with less energy wasted trying to keep perfect technique or to minimize momentum, the better, especially as you start pushing close to the fatigue points that are so important for muscle building. I remember training many years ago with Tom Platz, and he would refer to hamstrings as leg biceps, as he would then proceed to throw as much volume as he physically could into me on his favorite knee flexion exercise, which is ironically the lying leg curl. Because again, it's worth noting that the lying leg curl isn't a bad option, and I still use it all the time. But if I had to put it down to just one movement, I would choose the seated leg curl for the stability and ability to push to the brink of destruction. Now, a knee flexion exercise like the seated leg curl is absolutely essential because of the hamstring muscles. One of them, the biceps femoris, i.e. the name leg biceps, has two heads or different sections to it. So one of these sections, known as the short head, doesn't interact at all with the hip joint, which means that if you did my next favorite exercise for hamstrings, and only that exercise, you'd be missing out on a whole section of hamstring gains. So with that in mind, what is exercise number two? Exercise number two is a Romanian deadlift, which can often be problematic for a lot of people who find that they feel their lower back fatiguing or have trouble using their hamstrings at all. Now, I recently did a video, which I'll link right up here in the corner for you to check out after, on what you do if you feel your lower back dominating on any deadlift variation or squat variation or any exercise in the gym really, because it is all related. It should be hovering above my head around about now, but don't check it right now, because right now you're hanging out with me. Right when I'm about to reveal to you another one of my super secret methods to improving your hamstring recruitments on deadlifts. So I'll also leave a link to this video in the pinned comment section as well. You can check it out after we're done here. So what else do I do to help people master the deadlift or hinge pattern for hamstrings? I elevate their toes. You may have heard of this technique being used as a way to increase the stretch on the hamstrings. And in actual fact, it doesn't do a thing at the hamstring. What it does do is it offsets your center of gravity slightly, and it essentially forces you to hinge your hips backwards. When I used to work as a personal trainer, I would often find that people would struggle to learn how to hinge or to push their hips back, no matter how many cues I would give them. But I found that they would master it immediately when I elevated their toes. And then, after weeks of doing this, they could go back to having their feet flat on the ground and the hinge pattern would be mastered because their nervous system had learned how to move correctly, and it transfers across from elevated toes to flat feet. I really like little tricks like that. It almost sounds gimmicky, like, hey, try this one cool trick to instantly improve your hamstring gains, or something like that. But it works, and there is actually no reason why you can't use that technique for the rest of your life if you really wanted to. But coming back to the remaining deadlift, any variation will do. Barbell, dumbbell, trap bar. Like, I currently don't have a trap bar, otherwise I think that will be my absolute favorite due to the ease of setup and how it minimizes the forces going through the lower back due to the relative position of the load, which allows you to focus as much grunt of the work as you can through the glutes and hamstrings. You can get a similar effect using dumbbells, but the awkwardness of getting heavy dumbbells into position can become problematic depending on your strength levels and how big those dumbbells are. So there you go, guys. Quick tips and my 2 favorite exercises for hamstrings. Thank you all so much for watching this all the way through. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something useful. If you have any follow-up questions on hamstrings at all, please drop a comment below, and I'll see you all next time.